Greetings, fellow adventurers. WULF-OF-STEEL here. And today I'm reaching out to you from New Tristram. One of my most recent videos, you saw me back in Diablo 2 Resurrected, checking out the new content from the Rise of the Warlock, I guess they're calling it. But, Warlock's kind of cool. It's definitely not my favorite class, but it's different. And I think that's the appeal right now. In fact, Diablo 2 has got everybody's playing that right now. So, in fact, people are like, Path of Excrement? What's that? So, Diablo, that was actually a smart move by Blizzard to release that, because it's getting a lot of accolades. Everybody loves it. Diablo 2 is the GOAT, always will be. So, and some people just can't get they can't get out of the past. They're hating on Diablo 4 because it's not, whatever. Listen, I'm not one of those nostalgia guys, okay? There is no MMO, in my opinion, that's more absolutely breathtaking than Diablo 4. It's the best, one of the best MMOs ever made. It's outstanding. The physics, the graphics, the depth, the end game content, and it keeps improving and improving and improving. Diablo 4, untouchable. Plain and simple, heads and tails above everything else. The only complaint I've got about Diablo 4 is there's no Diablo in it. But whatever, we'll just let that slide. But otherwise, it's just freaking plain awesome. That said, though, I've already maxed everything out. There's really nothing left for me to do there until the next season, which is not too far off, a couple weeks from what I understand. So not a big deal. So I went back to Diablo 2, played that for a while. It's fun. If you're new to Diablo, and that is not a shock, because I think that the new the new airtime it's getting, the new ad, a lot more ads are going out, a lot more interest, a lot more buzz on the web, and it gets new players, coming in saying, hey, maybe I'll check this out all the time. Well, if you really want to get to those series, you want to start with Diablo 2 Resurrected. Don't bother looking for Diablo 1. You're not going to find it, at least not on consoles. And honestly, listen, if you're like me, you don't buy a next-gen system to play a 40-year-old game or 30-year-old game. You just don't do it. Okay, that's just dumb. That's just plain dumb. I don't care. It is. Okay, I got a next-gen system because I want the flaw, the 1080p. Okay, I want these enhancements. I want the immersion. I want the 3D surround sound. That I need that stuff. That's me. Okay. Somebody else wants to play Pong on their PS2 or Xbox or their, Radeon, 890, whatever. You know what? Whatever makes you happy, go for it. That ain't me. Anyways, that said, Diablo 2 Resurrected is, the Rise of the Warlock did bring a lot of enhancements to the game. What I love about it is the new rune organization and gem organization. So that said, but now I'm kind of bored of that. So then I said, let me hop back in Diablo 3. I haven't played that in quite a long time. And there are some changes that I haven't been around to notice, and I really like them. So one of the, I don't know. I can't really give you a tutorial. This would take, decades to do. There's plenty of them out there. Just look for them. But as far as Diablo 3, one of the things I like about it is there's a lot more lore in it. It does a lot more. It does a lot better at the storytelling about the background of Diablo and the characters. Diablo 2 really dropped the ball on that. There is not a lot of storytelling in that game, and I don't care how much you just love it just because you're too stubborn to really think for yourself. But if you really give it some thought, you'll realize that's true. There is not a tremendous amount of storytelling in D2. Granted, the cutscenes are pretty awesome, but guess what? The cutscenes in D3 are also pretty awesome. And we've got our old wide wizard here, Deckard Cain, who has got volumes and volumes of information out there in these little books that you find everywhere, where he gives you all this lore and background. So Diablo 3 in a lot of ways is that kind of game. It's a great game for starting Diablo players, but you know, D2 Resurrected, like I said, is the GOAT for its own reason. But there are no runes in Diablo 3. There's gems, but no runes. And I think that's one of the big complaints people had is there's not as much customization. However, at least when you play Diablo 3, you can choose, you know, whether your character's male or female. So that was one step in the right direction, rather than it making, you know, you have to choose whatever they have. And it was the first one to introduce transmogs for the armor and weapons. So you can customize your look a lot more in Diablo 3 than you could in 2. Another thing that they've added, which is really cool, it's over here. It's called the Altar of Rights. And this allows you to expand. This is more endgame content because this allows you to expand on your character's powers and abilities even more. You start off with a really simple requirement for the first one, and then as you choose different gifts, you're going to have to pay more and more for them. So, you know, nothing, of course, is free. What I chosen, I was going in this direction first. Now I regret it, and I want to go back over here because I want that one. Increase damage against elites by 5%. Hell yeah, I love that. I mean, but the reason I didn't go for that right away is because I'm like, I don't really care about this one, the one that says items may have no level requirement. I'm like, whatever, you know. But anyway, so right now I've got kill streak timer duration and reward bonus are doubled. That's cool. And then I've got pools of reflection last for the entire season. These are these little yellow pools that you find in the game that increase your experience. So you're going to level up faster when you look through one of those, and it sticks with you throughout the game, which is really cool. And then this one here, I got plus 100 damage. The blood catches fire. Not quite sure what that means, but plus 100 damage, so I'm hitting stronger. So that's awesome. Now, or I could go here next, which says up health globes, grants a shield for 5% of your maximum health for 7 seconds, max stacks 5. That's not bad. Then this one here, plus 5% missile damage reduction, plus 10% movement speed. Yeah. And then there's more and more as you go. So in order for me to choose, I could choose any one of these medallions to open up this whatever skill I need. It says the requirement's going to be a class, any class set helm. Okay. Well, I happen to have some in my inventory. Okay. But anyways, so if you're starting off with the other thing that's cool about Diablo 3 is it introduced adventure mode before D2 Resurrected got it, which you don't have to play the campaign if you don't want to. You actually, I think you have to once, just like in Diablo 4. You have to play the campaign through once. And then after that, if you want to start a new character, create a new character, you can go straight to adventure mode and just skip the campaign if you want to, and just get into the fun. The rifts is still a big deal. This is the Nephilim obelisk where you open up regular rifts, and what is the other one called? Greater rifts, right? And the other things, of course, is there is the legendary gems. Okay, each one which has different powers. And some of them are better than others, of course. And these things you can equip into your jewelry slot. So you can have a total of 3 gems, one for your amulet or medallion, and then one for each ring. Got 1 ring in each hand. Okay. Now, one thing I like to do in Diablo 3 and 4 is I always have one character, you know, that's always my mainstay, my goat, if you will, that kind of carries everything and pushes the type to start the right off the bat with the beginning. And it's the same type of character pretty much in both scenarios. It's the sorceress. Although in Diablo 3 it's called a wizard. And I always name my sorceress Skadi because Skadi is one of the main characters in my book, Ivan Chronicles of All. So I'm kind of role-playing with all these characters here. But I create a bunch of characters based on My characters, my book, which of course are loosely based on Norse mythology, so Skadi is one of them. This one here, my barbarian, this is Odin, and and then I always choose a crusader, Thor, I call him, and then I always go with a monk for Freya, and then I typically go with a demon hunter for Loki. So that's usually what I go with in Diablo 3. And so the wizard being the first Skadi, she's the one that carries me out all the way up to the Paragon levels. Yes, of course. Now, one of the cool things about the Paragon levels here is once you start accumulating them, they're good for all your characters. And the thing is, if you start a brand new character, you can select those Paragon levels immediately. So it gives your brand new character kind of a buff. It makes them a little bit tougher to just starting off. Okay. Another thing I've done is the Gem of Ease, which is right now it's on my Thunder Fury sword. The Gem of Ease, once you're ranking up to rank 25, you put that in any weapon you want, and it eliminates the level requirement for that weapon. So a brand spanking new character can equip a level 70, what would normally require a level 70 character. So again, he's right now Odin's got a sword that's way more powerful than a beginning character should be able to wield. So that's going to help him out quite a bit. Another thing I did is Skadi also accumulated a couple other things that are good for all the other characters. She accumulated a couple of Hellfire amulets and a Hellfire ring. Anybody can wear them, and so he's wearing one amulet and one ring. And what they did is, see, these are socketable items. So now I've got two more legendary gems, this one being the Molten Wildebeest Gizzard and the other one being the Legacy of Dreams. And he's starting off with a bunch of buffs, super powered buffs that allow me to get through the game quicker, level him up quicker, and just take on. Right now I'm starting off in Torment. If I didn't have all these buffs, I wouldn't stand a chance. The toughest I would try for a brand new character without all of these extra things, I would not go any further than hard, and that would be still a challenge until you get some levels under your belt and get a few more skills. So, but with all these buffs, I'm taking on Torment right off the bat, and it's working out pretty well. So let's go ahead and best way to level up. Well, actually, there's two ways to level up. You can either go through the world events. Each world's got 5 different events going on, and events in each area require different things for you to do. And then once you've completed all those world events, Tyrael over here will give you a nice chest of goodies. And in that, including some possible, better weapons and armors and stuff, is you're going to get plans for the blacksmith here, so he can make you some cool shit. Okay, and the blacksmith makes weapons. He also repairs weapons and armor. And then you got the jeweler, which makes different types of gems for you, which are all things that can buff your weapons and armor. And then over here, this mystic lady here, she can, so let's say you roll a sword, but the sword, just like the blacksmith in Diablo 4, let's say the sword, you want to change one of the attributes on it. Like, let's say the sword has an intelligence buff, but you're a barbarian, so your main attribute's strength. You can go to her and you can try to roll strength and replace the intelligence with strength. So that's one of the things she can do. She can also add sockets to items. That's another thing that she's capable of doing. So really useful there. And also she can transmog any of your gear. So if you want a different look for the gear, if you like the gear but hate how it looks, don't worry. She can set you up with a different look for you. So that's
Not
really
enough
cool.
fury.
Pets in here operate pretty much identical in Diablo 2 and 4. They pretty much just pick up gold for you and stuff like that. So I've got a bunch of them. I'm not really sure. Father Marcus. Yeah, no thanks. Um, oh, you know which one I usually like for the barbarian? There's a flaming skull. There we are, the blaze. There we go. That dude. So he's pretty awesome, right? Um, and then wings. Tyranny of the Father. What the hell is those? Oh, so these are like the angels' wings. Um, not too thrilled with those. There's a few others I've got. Felicia gear. That one's kind of cool, but doesn't really look great. Odin the Barbarian doesn't. I don't need wings. So, but Mercy's Gaze. Those are the original ones that come with the game. But and portrait frames, pennants, whatever. But anyway, so now I've got my pet out so he can go collect gold for me. And the other thing in Diablo 2 is, and rather 4, is you get companions. In Diablo 2, you had to go hire them from different areas. They were mercenaries. Here, once you play the full game, all three of them are standing here waiting for you. You know, you've got the Scoundrel, the Templar, and the Enchantress. I usually go with the Enchantress. She's very helpful, very effective. The other guys are cool too, but Scoundrel, a lot of people love the Scoundrel because of his comments. He's got all kinds of witty, wise ass things to say. He's really funny. So if you want to laugh and enjoy yourself, you might want to go with the Scoundrel. But I just go with the Enchantress because she's got some pretty good area powers um, that are pretty helpful in the game right now. So yeah, so you can either go through the world and go through the world events and collect those caches, and you need that in each one of those chests that Tyrael gives you are some special items that you're going to need in order to make some of the special gear that the blacksmith has. So keep that in mind. Another feature of here is Kanai's Cube. It's something that came out of Diablo 2, and of course now here is in Diablo 3, and Kanai's Cube has a lot of different uses in this game. One thing you can do is like if you've got a rare item is something like this. Notice how it's got a gold color. That's what's called a rare chest item. You got basically the gray items, which are just bland, nothing, just garbage. You got the blue ones, which are magic items, and then you got the yellow ones, which are rare chest armor. That I mean, yellow as in the text there. And then finally, we've got the legendary ones, which are the gold. Um, so you can take a rare item, whatever you want, sword, armor, jewelry, and you can have him upgrade it for you, as long as you have all the materials that he needs. Um, and then he can upgrade it into a legendary. You don't know what kind. It's a real crap roll. You could get something really cool, or you could get something really crappy. So, but that is an option for you. Now in Diablo 3, there are also armor sets, and each set of armor gives you different powers and abilities, and some are really cool. Now, let's say you get a set, and let's say you want to complete the set because your powers expand based on how many pieces of that armor set you have equipped. So, and you need a certain number of ones equipped for each set. It's a little different for each one. It could be 5, it could be 6, so on and so forth. So let's say I collected 4 pieces and I need the 5th. And then in an encounter with a monster, I picked up another piece, but it's the same piece I already had. Like, let's say it's an extra helmet. And I'm like, damn, that's not what I wanted. I can go to Kanai's Cube, throw that extra helmet in here, and have him turn it into a different thing. It could be boots, could be gloves. So every time I throw it through there, I have a chance of getting that final set piece that I've been looking for. So that's another thing he can do. He can convert gems for you, which is something useful, like each character, based on whatever their core attribute has, different gems are more useful than others. So if you want to enhance strength, for example, a barbarian, you need red gems for that. So I could, if I have, like, let's say a whole bunch of amethyst gems and I want to make the red gems, which are rubies, I can convert them here as long as I've got the required essence and the other gems. I don't really use use any of these things because I'm already carrying a bunch of stuff now. Augment ancient item. I have not tried that yet because I haven't found an ancient item yet. So that's something that's interesting. Upgrade legendary item. This gives you the ability to make a legendary item into an ancient item. I would imagine. So another new thing that I've never tried yet, which is kind of cool. Now this one here, extract legendary powers. Notice how all your legendary items have different powers, right? So for example, this sword here, Thunder Fury, its power is, well, let's see. Okay, that's the power of Thunder Fury right there. Chance on hit to blast your enemy with lightning. Okay? If I put Thunder Fury into Kanai's cube and extracted it, I could choose that power to apply to whatever weapon I want. Whatever weapon I've got equipped would have that ability in it. Okay? And you can also extract out powers from armor as well as from jewelry. Now, here's a new thing that they did, which I freaking love. Okay? One of the things that really annoyed me so much in the past is sometimes, you know, based on your own playing, you know, your own playing style, and sometimes you really wanted two skills in the same category. But unfortunately, up until recently, you couldn't do that. Okay? You could only choose one weapon skill, one armor skill, and one jewelry skill, and that was that. So let's say there was two different jewelry skills you wanted. Sorry, sucker, you can only use one of them at a time. That was kind of annoying. Now, you can apply any skill you want to any slot you want. You're still limited to 3, but see what I did here? That's an armor skill. The Spalders of Zakara. As long as I have that active, my equipment will never degrade. I don't have to get anything repaired. Nothing's going to ever get bad, which is awesome. Very useful. Probably one of the most useful skills in the game. Leoric's Crown increases my experience pickup. That's also an armor skill. Normally, I shouldn't be able to put it there. I should only be able to put jewelry skills. But now, you can put anything you want in any slot, which is freaking great. That is so damn helpful. Super appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, so that's pretty much that. And let's see, what else do I want to talk about? You know what? Let's go here real quick. About the Kill Create Queen Aranye. Okay, let's go do that. Okay. Notice how on the world map you can see where the bosses are, right? And so this is telling me Skeleton King's there, Queen's here, she's a spider, and then there's a butcher. Now, if you have a bounty to kill one of these bosses and you kill the boss, you also get a chest of goodies, a resplendent chest they call it, which is an added bonus. So keep that in mind too. This is a cool thing to do. So let me jump in there real quick. Now, another big advance from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3 is Diablo 3 has a area map or world map, if you call it. So, whereas Diablo 2 only has the little mini map, it doesn't have a world map. So there's no way to know really where you're going, where you've been, how to get from A to B, none of that stuff. And then the other thing is too is the level of detail. The Diablo 2 map, if you know what I'm talking about, if you played it yet, it looks like it was scribbled by like a toddler with a Sharpie. The level of detail on the maps is just freaking god awful. It's so bad. It's a headache to even bother trying to look at. And there is no defending that. It looks like shit. Even in Diablo 2 Resurrected, they couldn't make the map any better. That's freaking pathetic. So, yeah, that's one of the most frustrating things about that game. But fortunately, with this one, you've got I can hit the down button and I can see the map of the whole area I'm in, so I know where I'm going as far as. But obviously, it's only showing me what I've explored so far. But at least I have the ability to see the whole damn thing, you know, and I can backtrack too, and I know where I'm going. Whereas, you know, D2, it's only following like your immediate location. You don't really get to backtrack, and yes, you can expand it, but look, the map in Diablo 2 is primitive as hell. They really improved it dramatically here in D3. There's no argument. It's just, you know. I'm talking about. Anyways. So another reason I wanted to take you in here is in open world missions like this, as opposed to the rifts, there is another event that has a chance of spawning. It's an optional dungeon you can pop into, and it's pretty freaking awesome if you do, because there's some really good rewards. So we'll go over that in a minute, but sticky webs. You want to kill and loot everything, of course, because you never know. Trying to frickin' stick me with the damn web. Annoying. Alright, that pool of lava was created by the Hellfire Ring. It's got a very small chance of doing it, but it's pretty cool when it does. Weenies up here.
Need more time. More fury.
That skill, smashing the ground like that, is Hammer of Ancients. Very, very popular barbarian skill.
I need fury.
There we go. Finish her off this way. Okay, and here we go. There's the chest I told you about. Bunch of goodies there.
I am returning to
You
town.
just hit the right directional arrow and you're done. That'll teleport you back to town. You go here to this Book of Cain if you've got items that you need to identify. Interesting look. Double check, see if there's anything better for me. There we go. Well, not that much better, but okay. Definitely not going to be a better weapon. That's for sure. Hey, you know what? That ring's got a socket on it. I'll show you why that's good in a minute here. Sorry, dear, we don't really have any good gear for wizards or enchantresses, but I'll give you what we got.
Well crafted.
Is it? Okay. Okay, so now I've got an extra socket for the jewelry. That means I can add one more legendary gem. So I'm going to go ahead and go with, where did it go? There we go. Minri Teardrop of the Star Weaver. That zaps enemies every 3 seconds, and it heals me at the same time. Very popular one. A lot of people like that one. Okay. Now let's show you a rift, a regular rift. You can only choose regular rifts right now until you become level 70. Then you have the ability to open up to the greater rifts. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a regular rift.
Embrace your...
And it randomizes different areas and different enemies. And you got this little progress bar that's telling you as you're getting progress. Once it's maxed out, once it fills up, you have to face the rift boss. Usually something very big and powerful. And you get a whole bunch of goodies for doing it. In the meantime, of course, now okay, so we got a mob here.
More fury.
Check this out. Hey, there we go. The green upward arrows just indicate that it's better than what you've got now. Obviously, the 3 of them means it's got a much better attack. Let me go ahead and equip that. Oh yeah, it went from 26 to 32. There you go. So now I'm going to do more damage. Teardrop is working. That's what's shocking these guys right now. Now those gold skulls I picked up obviously increased the progress bar towards the boss. However, in the regular rifts, killing every type of enemy also progresses it, not as quickly, but it still matters. So that's why when I go through these things, I just kill everybody. Not to mention, when it comes to the RNG, every single dead enemy has an opportunity to drop something. So it increases, the more enemies you kill, the better your chances of finding better gear. And then, of course, the experience as well. Kind of a no-brainer. Lava bath. I don't often really worry much about the chests. I mean, that's all it's in them is gold and some kind of piece of junk anyway. So I end up probably scrapping, but... Oh, it's full of radiant. Good. I'll level up even faster. Going to the next area. Definitely want to avoid those explosions.
Full Kathos guides my hand.
See him go, okay, this is what. See, without the large map feature, I would not have any idea where I'm headed. I would have been stuck back there.
Not enough
Goblin.
fury.
That's another thing they kind of fell short of on these four. The goblins here. All these different types of goblins. 3. Alright, we got the world boss. The king.
I need
Leoric.
fury.
Go. Stuff from them. And I continue on here. There's a lot of rumors about this game that they say that if you keep on playing the Rift after you've killed the Rift boss, that it increases your chance of finding rare items. I don't know if that's true, to be honest. I've never really gotten to the point where I've tested it out. But obviously that, you know, I can still gain more experience. Soul Rippers, I hate those things. I've got Ricochet.
I need fury. Dog.
Let's go drop these quicker.
Travel smart.
All right, let's head back to town for a minute. Let me check something. See if we have some better gear to equip. First thing I want to check is for... Oh, there we go. Okay. So now I've got a socketable helmet. So I'll tell you what the significance of that is in just a minute here. Okay, those are definitely better. That's better. He's still better. Okay. Move back to boots. I'm not going to worry too much about the rings. Oh, better shield. Okay, now. About for you, girly. That's funny. There we go. Now it comes.
If you insist.
Okay, so now that I've got a helmet with a socket, I can put that red ruby in that helmet. And now I'm going to gain an experience and level up even quicker. Because I've got that Leoric's signet, or the Leoric's crown power selected, which doubles the effectiveness of that red gem. Oh, another goblin.
fury.
I see. So that's once you find that blue marker, that tells you that's it. There's no more, no further dungeons to visit in this rift. So I can try and backtrack and see if there's anything I missed. Honestly, there really isn't much of anything left here. So after that, hitting that blue marker is going to take you back to your main hub, just like teleporting would. There we go. And then just talk to Oric.
I grow in power.
Any magic items? Nope. Alright. Let's go ahead and get that power. So let me go in my inventory here. And now Leoric's Crown is not a set item. That's just a regular standalone item, but it is legendary. And that's going to make, see, the gem I've got in my amulet increases my damage by 97% for each legendary item I have equipped, as long as I do not have a set. So that means I can't have, you know, items that are part of a matching set. I'd have to have, these all have to be separate individual pieces. But each one will increase my damage by almost 100%. So actually it makes more sense, even though at face value, the Leoric's Crown's a little weaker than what I'm wearing, because you see the attack is down a little bit and the defense is down a little bit. The boost by that legacy, the Legacy of Dreams gem, will dramatically make up for that loss. So I'm going to go ahead and equip the Leoric's Crown. And then I'm going to take the Firebird's Plume, because my wizard is already wearing one, so she doesn't need the extra one. So anyways, now I could take this Leoric's Crown over here to the Mystic and say, hey, you know what? I'm barbarian now. I don't need intelligence. Can you roll me strength instead? And see if she will. Hey, there we go. Now that makes it better. Now I'm going to remove the gem in my current helmet and put this one on. And then don't forget to put that gem back in there. Beautiful, okay. Now I'm going to use this plume here. Okay. That's terrific. Thanks, pal. Okay. Let's go ahead and use this helm to open up this medallion. There we go. Now that's done. Now for the next one, increase damage by all elites, blah, 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 or I could run faster, or I could do better missile damage. I want better damage to elites. So it looks like this one requires a shit ton of components. Now, those components there, West March Holy Water, Corrupted Angel Flesh, Area Rat War Tapestry, Chaldean Nightshade, and Condoran Rune. Each of those is something you acquire by doing the world events on each one of the 5 maps. Okay, so in other words, you complete all of those missions with the little exclamation point. You go back to Tyrael. Tyrael gives you a big chest of goodies. In it is going to be a collection of those items based on what world you were in. Okay, so me, I've been doing this a while with my sorceress. So I think I've got I've got like 60 of each. So I'm in good shape. So that's Gondoran's World 1, World 2, World 3, World 4, World 5. So I got plenty. I got plenty to spare. The other items that he mentioned, Forgotten Souls, you get those by either killing enemies if you're in the Torment or above difficulty. Below Torment doesn't drop those. So you have to be at least Torment or better. And then also you get them by scrapping legendary items. Um, and then these here, reusable parts, arcane dust, veiled crystal, you get those by scrapping regular weapons and armor. You get those by scrapping magical weapons and armor. You get those by scrapping the rare weapons and armor. And then death breaths, you don't start seeing those until usually right around level 65, and of course level 70 or higher. And those drop from usually mob bosses. When you have a collection of enemies and they're all glowing together, that's like a mob. And then the boss, once you kill them all and kill the boss, he'll drop a couple of those. And anyway, so let's go back here. Let's choose that one. Awesome. Awesome. So now I'm going to do 5% more damage to all the elites. Love it. Love it. Now, these items here, the Heart of Fright, Vial of Putridness, Idol of Terror, and Loric's Regret. Those you get by killing mega bosses after collecting these items here, these machines, if you will. I don't know why they call them machines, but you collect those machines, then
More fury.
come over here and you drop them in here, and it'll take you these little portals to go these different areas to kill bosses, and the bosses will drop those special items that you need for crafting. And those items you need for crafting, both the Hellfire amulets as well as the Hellfire ring. Okay. Let's see, what was that? I'm going to choose this one because it's going to open up the next section for me here. And this one here includes more, more elites damage or elite damage reduction. Now, that's pretty useful too. And 5% damage. Oh, do you see that? Those death breaths you use for a lot of different items. They're one of the most useful end game components there is. So that's very tempting. Makes me want to go this way first. And one here. That's actually kind of cool too. Yeah. Nice. And then what? Gain passability. No idea what that is. Immunity to crown controlling effects. That's useful. And then another 5% damage. And then, oh, pets pick up death's breaths. That's nice. Elite packs drop one additional progress orb. Damage done to bosses. Okay. Oh, nice. They're going to pick up more stuff that makes the pets more useful. But it all starts by getting this one. Okay. There we go. Reaper's Wraps. So now it's asking for a very specific item next. Okay. Well, if we find some, we'll bring it on over. Okay, so hopefully you've learned a few tips. Maybe you've seen some things you weren't aware of. Maybe you've learned that you might need to get back in Diablo 3 again, or if you've never played it before, give it a try. Um, well, we've got a couple of weeks to play this until the next season of Diablo 4, so until the next adventure.